1, 2, 3, 4.
Good afternoon today. My name is Russ Laggan, and we're doing the Attraction Advantage podcast. I am here with my favorite friend and somebody that is more rare than the Loch Ness Monster, Frank Panunto.
Yeah, well, like this, I mean,
What does that even mean?
well, we have different intros every day. I went from Bigfoot to Loch Ness Monster, and it's getting worse by the minute. I love it. Thank you so much. I
You're
am
welcome.
hunted, I am real, and I am seen in this fishbowl that we call the Loch Ness.
Some people call him the legend. He is a legend and the legend.
In my own mind.
Frank Panunto, welcome today. So today we're doing speed podcasts. We are live at EXP Con at the convention. We've got a buzz going around us. You feel the energy in the air?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Really
And
cool.
today we have the one and only Jesse Zagorsky, spelled with a Y.
That's it. What's going on, Russ?
You know what? Every single time I have the opportunity, I want to talk to you. You're one of my favorite people to talk to because you're just a cool dude. You're likable and you're knowledgeable and you're just a driven guy, which I totally get a kick out of. So
I love that. I'm glad it's radio. People can't see me blushing right now.
yeah, well, you are super special to me, and you're super special to a lot of people around here. So it's really you don't realize the impact that you have. Probably, I know you know you have an impact, but you don't realize how big that impact is, and it's all the way up and down the chain. So
Thank you.
thank you for doing that.
We're going to do this for 15 minutes where you say nice
15
things about
minutes.
me, right?
Yeah,
I'm just
that's
warming-
it.
I'm just-
That's the content for the whole thing.
I'm just warming up.
I
So
love it.
that's great.
No,
but
I
I'll
really
piggyback
love
on
it.
that because
Yeah.
I've seen you so many times on different masterminds and all we do. But you're a very authentic guy.
Thank
You
you.
always come from a place of giving. You never ask. You always
Yeah.
give, and that's pretty awesome, man.
Fantastic. So today this is Attraction Advantage podcast.
Yeah.
And you may actually know a thing or two about attraction. So what I'd like to start off with like what do you think your secret sauce is? Like, what are you doing differently? You're like special on a different level. What is that?
It's funny because it ties into the intro you just gave me. So I don't know if you teed it up that way on purpose.
Not
But
We're not that good.
purely accidental.
the way
I'm only successful because I stumble around into enough stuff. I bump into something interesting.
at high enough speed. So for me, I think one of the secret sauces or special things about what I've done from an attraction basis is it is the way I show up in the world, that like authentically.
Yes.
And so I do a lot of attraction based on relationship.
Yeah.
And I spent years before coming to EXP just doing nice things for other agents, just
Yeah.
masterminding. I'm a real estate nerd. I love
Yeah.
sharing ideas, and
Yeah.
it's how I'm wired naturally. So for those people listening that are naturally wired to just be helpful and do nice things for other people,
Yeah.
that I'll say this, write this down. Anyone's listening. I had someone had me write this down before I joined EXP, and they said, "You're about to be rewarded for the human being you've been."
Ooh.
Wow.
And so if you're naturally wired like me, it's great. And if you're not wired like me, well, you can still do this because you can work on the authentic piece. But if you just
Yeah.
do nice things and be helpful, and you think
Yeah.
my goal is to go help others, it comes
Yeah.
back to you through agent attraction.
Yeah, but I think that can't be overstated, right? So the authentic piece is something you can't fake,
No.
right? Because people don't want to be sold, right?
Like, hey,
So-
I've got this
Yeah.
fake authentication
Aren't I
program.
authentic enough for
we're
you?
gonna, we're gonna
This
teach
is the
you how to
real
be
me.
authentic. Here's
Yeah.
what an authentic person would say.
Exactly. No, but unfortunately, we see that.
Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
I think one of the keys to attraction is
Yeah.
really coming from a place of helping someone.
Right.
And
Yeah.
somehow you have a way of just articulating that and making people feel that from the get-go, and that's a pretty special gift.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's because I genuinely care. So truly,
Yeah.
like, I'm hoping people are listening to this, that there are people that haven't jumped into agent attraction as deeply.
Yeah.
But you see all the time these agents that love helping other agents.
Yeah.
And they just haven't connected the dots for how that goes back then on the attraction side.
You know, if you get into the psychology of this, I mean, there's a bunch of books that's been written up, and they're saying, like, if you are in a really bad, dark place and depressed, the first thing you need to do is start helping other people.
Yep.
In the process of helping other people, like, go volunteer at a dog shelter if you need to. It's like, people suck right now, just get a dog, right? But go and start to volunteer and do something for something else other than you, and it completely shifts the chemistry. Because a lot of people, when they go into a depressed state or they're in that frustrated, aggravated, stuck state, they don't realize that the way out of that is actually forward by helping other people. It's the fastest way out, because otherwise you get outside of that stuck circle you're in.
It's an inward focus
Yep.
versus an outward focus.
Agreed.
So I think that I'm trying to figure out how to explain authenticity, right? If you can't make someone be authentic, but I would say if you shift your focus, and we'll relate this back to agent attraction, if you shift your focus to being focused on the needs, wants, and goals of others,
Yes.
right? That outward focus versus
Yes.
what is this going to do for me? When you talk about, Frank, people feel that inauthenticity, it's typically because it's your own agenda and goals that are overriding considering about the other person. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you're going right where I want to go. So I think a huge reason why a lot of people don't get into agent attraction, they don't know how to start.
Right.
And they feel they're not comfortable becoming uncomfortable. I feel like when you speak to people, you're not uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
So if there's advice you could give to people who are interested in attracting but don't really know how to get it started, like what's a good mindset going into a conversation, and how can you help somebody with that?
Yeah. The mindset's simple. The mindset is get curious. If you're,
love that.
Yeah, me too.
If you're trying to start getting into agent
See,
attraction,
this guy,
I know. He's like word bite soup over here.
See?
It's like, how can you phrase that awesome? Okay, Jesse, go.
yeah, go ahead.
Get curious.
But that's the thing. Is so
Yes.
if you're talking to the audience of people that haven't really jumped into agent attraction, if you say go out and start recruit someone or attract someone, it's overwhelming. But if
Yes.
you say
Yes.
just go find, so with every agent attraction trainer I've ever been to, every recruitment trainer, they say make a list.
Yeah.
Cool. So you make a list.
Make a list.
Make a list of people. Which,
Make a target list.
Right.
And like, what do you do with target lists? You shoot them? Like, okay, line them up. Boom.
and I've got nothing wrong with make a list. Like I include that too, but it's even before that, or I guess if pick one person, say hello.
Yes.
All business is conversation.
Yes.
All business is conversation.
Yes.
And so once you start talking, if you get curious and you're trying to learn about their hopes, dreams, and goals,
Right.
then that's where you don't have to worry about where it's going. Don't worry about the agenda.
Right.
Just get curious and ask that. And then because at EXP, agent attraction is a team sport.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's not just you, it's you, your sponsor. Like you have all these people around you.
Yep.
We have the growth team. We have you, right? With both of you guys, Russ and Frank, 8 other people.
Yeah.
I can try to name all of them, but
They're
don't
everywhere.
don't make me. But there's a lot
okay.
of them. Like you have a team. If you get curious and you start to see what's important to them, and then you're like, I don't know where to go with this, but I do know you can go to any one of your business partners and say, I talked to this agent. Here's what they need. Right.
There you go.
And how can we help solve it? Where can we connect the dots? Does that make sense?
Okay, so I would say make a list. So let's talk about the list. So I'm all for lists, right? But make a list of the people you've added value to and you've added something to their life versus making a list of people you're targeting.
Right.
Right. So like we're not Santa Claus. That's not that list. We want to be targeting a list of the people that you've added value to, the people you can add value to. Do that first.
Well, there's two pieces: people you've added value to,
Right.
or people you could or want to add value to.
Right. Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Because there's some people. This is why you see some people hit the ground running with agent attraction,
Yeah.
and some people that take a while.
Yeah.
And it's like, why do they have such success? Because they've probably spent a significant period of time adding value to other agents in their world. Even if it's just transactionally. When you do a transaction, you're a professional agent. You build great rapport. You know those deals. So even that's enough to like. But if you start in real estate and you know nobody,
Right.
it's a tough road to go out and just like I've got to
brutal.
Right. So start building those relationships first.
And I also think it's the journey too that people need to understand. That we were talking about it before on an earlier broadcast that this thing's a marathon, and everybody sees so many big attractors in the company. Like, oh my God, they have 4,000 people, they have 8,000 people. I'm never going to get that. Everybody starts with one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just got to get started.
Yeah.
Right. And one turns to two.
Yep.
Turn from 2 to 4. You know. So, but getting that confidence, like you're talking about, and what I think a lot of people too. I think we said it's very important. They don't know what value they can bring to somebody.
Right.
I think that's where the
Give
insecurity
me a
comes
couple
from.
examples of value. Like, what would you say would be something you say? I dig it when I do this because people get a kick out of it. This is value that I get a response from.
Right.
Because what I think is valuable might not be valuable to other people.
So step one was getting curious to find out what is valuable to them.
Yes.
Don't guess. Don't vomit value.
Yes.
All right. You want a soundbite?
Yeah.
Don't vomit
Don't
value.
vomit.
Okay. But other than that, be the connector to value versus feeling like you need to give it yourself.
Right.
Wow.
Yes.
Like you're a tour guide.
Yeah.
Right. And so
Yeah.
Love that.
if you don't know what's valuable, learn our resources. If you can't
Right.
find something at EXP, on Workplace, in any one of the partners we have, in any other, if you can't find something valuable, you're just not looking.
Yeah.
So you need to learn what's available, not to teach it, but to be the connector and the bridge to help someone go get it.
So we were talking about this yesterday. I was talking about this with somebody yesterday. I said, you don't have to be the creator of the content. You can take somebody else's content and say, hey, did you see this? And this is what I got out of it. Now you're tied to that content. You don't have to create it, but you can just say, hey, here's what it meant to me. And here's what I saw. And here's the value I got. And did you check this point? And now people are like, oh, you know what? That's pretty cool, Russ. You know what? I think I like that too.
I think that's the biggest stumbling block. I think people need, before they get into attraction, they're like, I need to be an expert on EXP. I
Yes.
need to know
Yes.
everything about EXP.
Well, I've never written a
or
book.
I can't bring value.
Yeah.
It gets right back to what he just said.
I haven't met anyone yet that knows everything about EXP.
We don't know everything about
It
it.
keeps
We
changing
sit
and
around
evolving.
all the time. We text back and forth on a weekly basis. Frank's like, "Tell me about the. Do you know anything about this?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Like, hold on. I'm in workplace trying to Google it, right?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
"What is the thing?"
Yeah, Russ like, yeah, I know all about it. Hang on a second.
It's
Wordplay.
it's the blessing and the curse of being part
It
of a
is.
super innovative company.
It is.
But here's what I'll say. There's skills
Yes.
and talents.
Right.
Talents are God-given things we are born with that you
Yes.
can't change or alter.
Like being sexy, like Frank.
Right.
Like being the Loch Ness monster, like Frank. Just to
Yes.
bring it all full circle. We'll close that loop. But there's skills, which are things that was an abort. If you guys are only hearing the audio, which most of you are, that was
Yeah.
an aborted high five on that.
Yeah.
That was- there we go.
Oh, there's a
they give
sorry.
each other knuckles. There we go.
Peripheral.
All right, there we go. All right. So, if it's a talent, there's really not much you can do if you're born with it or you're not.
Right.
The authenticity
Right.
thing, I don't know if it's a talent or not. I'd like to think you could develop it, but what I know on the skill is skills are something you can improve. Skills
Right.
are something that anyone can develop.
Yes.
And the skill of being a connector or the bridge to information and value, that is a skill set that every single person listening to this can develop.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not something you're born with.
That's
Yeah.
powerful.
Right.
Very
You
powerful.
just have to know how to go out and look for it. So that's what I would give for jumping in. Get curious.
Yeah.
Learn your tools so you can connect people to it. I'll give you one more quick aside. I spent years of my real estate career running real estate masterminds.
Yes.
Like, so I was a speaker. I could train and speak, and I'm a marketing nerd. But in masterminds, my goal is to speak as little as possible.
Yes.
And when I first started, the masterminds were fairly awkward, but I got better over the years because it is a skill
Skill
set
set,
to do it.
yes.
And if you coordinate a conversation and you are the person in the room that's keeping it moving, you could know absolutely nothing. But if you have that skill set of connecting people and getting them sharing information,
Yes.
you by proxy look like a rock star.
Yes.
Because you're leading this conversation, even if
Yes.
you don't know half the stuff they're talking about.
Yeah.
It's called the skill of learning leverage.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you don't have to have the answers, but if you know where to get them, to your point,
Yeah.
that's called leverage.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right?
You know, it's kind of interesting. One of the techniques that I've used over the years and taught this, and like, hey, Jesse, if you were to try to get in front of the top 5 agents in your market, how would you do that? And there are people like crickets, right?
Yeah.
They're like, you know what? Would you like to know that? And when people were trying to do this attraction thing, they were like, oh, yeah, I'd love to know that. How do you do that? Right. So I'm going to call up Jesse and say, Jesse, you want a top 5 guys in the market right now? We're going to do a mastermind, and I'd like to interview you on a panel. Would you be willing to be a guest on a panel so we can just kind of talk through this? And before we do it, let's get on the phone and talk for 30 minutes so I can get to know you, so I can make sure I ask you the right questions, avoid the wrong questions, and make you look like a rock star. Are you good with that?
Yeah.
And Jesse's like, and every single one of them, every single time says yes. Now I've got 5 of the top agents sitting on stools in front of me, and all I'm doing is asking them questions.
Yep.
And pulling out the best of them.
Yep.
And everybody looks at me and they're like, this guy's an absolute rock star. I don't know doodly squat, but Jesse makes me look great, right? Because I'm interviewing top guys. Like, ask them a question, get the hell out of their way.
Yeah.
And they'll do the work for you.
Yep.
And that's how you start tying to these people. And you'll have friends for life.
And from there, that goes into building relationships. And in a short podcast,
Yeah.
we're not going to go too, but like,
Yeah.
I'm just going to tell you, what you just said is key, Russ. And anybody listening, they could either do it in a live event locally. I started a podcast years ago. Transparently, not because I cared how many people listen. Like, we have a decent amount of people listening now, but it was purely so I could get access to
Yes.
people to invite them on to build relationships.
Yes.
If you look at my organization, one of my largest lines came from someone I did not know until he was a guest on my podcast.
Nice.
Built a relationship, brought him to an EXP event.
Yeah.
He ended up joining, shut down his independent brokerage.
Yeah.
But that was, it came out of, I wasn't trying to teach him something.
Right.
I just interviewed
You
him.
got curious.
I got
Yeah,
curious.
man, like if you show people love, they're going to love you back.
Sometimes.
Yeah, you know, yeah, they're well, yeah. So
I know I'm supposed to say yes, but
the difference between a parasitic relationship and a symbiotic relationship, right?
And I do agree with you, but I'm being
Yeah.
funny. But I will say, this is back to this whole mindset of
Right.
if you're thinking about what's important to them, not about you,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if they love you back.
Yeah.
You keep focusing on that.
Love that. Right. Yeah. So let me redirect.
Okay.
So always show love. You've got a shot at getting some type of reciprocation. It's not showing love with intention of getting something. And I think that's where we get the problem a lot of times. People are like, well, I'm going to do this and this and this because I'm trying to get something. If you do it for the sheer will of doing it and with nothing expected in return, you're more likely to get something back.
Yeah, I think, and going back to what he started with, I think if you show curiosity, you're going to
Curiosity.
get something back.
Yeah,
It's not a yes or
absolutely.
no question. Now you're really getting to know somebody. You're building that relationship.
Yeah,
When you build that
absolutely.
relationship, that's where the magic happens.
100%.
Fantastic. All right, I think this is a great natural place to stop. Like, listen, I'm going to tag you and grab you. We're going to drag you into some longer stuff
do
if
it.
you're okay with that.
Absolutely.
We'll trade back and forth. I'm happy to help you out with anything you need to. But dude, absolutely a rock star. Love.
Are
I
you
love
showing me love now so I can show love back? Is that one of the,
I love you whether you love me or not. I'm like,
I'm watching a love fest. I
this is,
need
a,
to
this, is
turn
a
around
one,
or something.
this is a one-way street, dude. I'm gonna love you. I love you a bunch. You can hate me. I don't care, but I still love the way you roll.
I love both you guys.
It's all good, man. So thank you for your time today. Do appreciate it. Thank you for attending the Attraction Advantage podcast, and stay tuned, subscribe, and like us if you want to see more of this stuff. Thank you, Jesse Zagorsky. You're the best.
Thank you, brother.
Thanks, guys.